A lot of people like to use many plugins to deal with one track, one after another, and they think that makes sound better. But for me, I tend to use minimum plugins because I think as you increase the amount of plugins, you get more phase issues. So from today, I'll start a new series of videos and talk about my daily working, how I work with plugins, especially channel strips. I love channel strips. And usually when I work, I only use one plugin, or I can say one channel strips, unless it's not adequate. Okay, so now let's dive in. Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Kinghand.Lee, a mixing and mastering engineer. Sorry, I know I'm not a stable YouTuber, but for now, at least for now, I can't solve this problem because I'm the only one in this studio to take video. I don't have any team or crew to help me to edit the video or take the videos. And you know, every time editing video takes me a lot of time. That really bothers me. Well, never mind. Please hit like and subscription before we start. Okay, here is a pretty simple session. It's a live recording with simple tracks. I remember it's only about 10, 12 tracks. And also it's a rough session. It's especially the vocal was not edited yet, so sometimes you can hear it's out of pitch or out of time, so let's not worry about that. We only listen to the music. Okay, let's firstly listen to it.
他开着邻居家的 Toyota， 追着日落。他所说是最危险的地方，他都去过。今晚演出的 rapper 赛地上是他最喜欢。他走到吧台时点了一杯威士忌酸。他不时只留下电话号码，从不肯让我送他回家。听说你也曾经爱上过他，曾经也同样无法自拔。你说你学不会假装潇洒，谁叫我别太早放弃他？他过去全说成一段神话，然后像彼此一样的傻。我们沉默在乎他，全被他全部抹杀。越疼他，越相信永远得不到回答。到底他怎么想？应该继续猜测吗？还是说好全忘了吧？找一个承认失恋的方法，让心情好好的放个假。当你我不小心又想起他，就在记忆里画一个墙。
Okay, here is it. Let's look at the plugins I used in this session first. In most cases, I just use one plugin for every track, and this time I used the new released MBSI as my channel strip. And you can see on every track, I only use this one plugin. On some tracks, like for example, like kick or snare, I use more than one. Because the EQ band of this plugin is really limited. There's only one band I can choose frequency freely, so I have to use another plugin to compensate this. So that's why I use this, and due to the genre of this song, I chose this plugin. This is a very old plugin, 4020 by MCDSP. That was almost released, I remember, in around 20 years ago. I don't know, but it's a pretty old, not fancy plugin nowadays. And this Pro MB, I will introduce it later why I use it on the kick drum track. But for most tracks, I only use this MBSI and maybe 4020 as an add-on. Okay, now let's listen to the kick drum first, which is the track I start mix every time. Okay, there are two more plugins on the original tracks, which is the Harrison 32C channel strip, and I only use the drive function to make some coloration, and I don't touch any of the compressor or the EQs. Let's bypass all the plugins on this track. This is the kick drum bus, and this is just for the phase alignment. Let's forget it. Okay, this is the original sound, and with MBSI. Firstly, I want to talk about my idea about this song's mixing. I like it to be thinner, not a very wide, a very fancy sound, because this song is a few decades ago song, and I think it might be even older than me. And this version is covered by a female singer. She did it really well. And let's see what I did with this kick drum. I just want it to be thinner, no matter it's the drum or other sounds in this song. So I increased the high band to the highest, and I increased a little bit. Here is around 700 or 800, and also I decreased a little bit for the low band because I want it to be thinner. I don't want it to be boomy. Okay, let's listen to it. And with this song, with this plugin, I still feel it's not solid enough. It's not thin enough. So that's why I add this 40-20 to make it more solid. I use this plugin is because the kick drum is unstable. It's very unstable. So sometimes the high frequency of the kick drum can really pops out and makes me feel, oh, it's harsh. So that's why I use this Pro MB to control it. Okay, now let's compare it in the music. Firstly, without all the plugins.
从不肯让我送她回家。听说你也曾经爱上过他，曾经也同样无法自拔。你说你却不会假装潇洒，谁叫我别太早放弃他？把过去全说成一段神话，然后像彼此一样的傻。我们这么在乎他，却被他全部。
Okay, and this snare. And firstly, I use the silencer plugin to eliminate the bleeding, and then here comes to the MBSI, and let's do the same, bypass it first. Okay, and we add this. Make it a little bit more solid, but still I don't think it's solid enough, so I add this 40-20 to make it more solid, punchier. And now let's move on to the overhead. Let's listen to it without the plugin first. For this track, for the overhead, I think it's not fat enough. It can't hold the bass drum inside it. So that's why I increase a little bit of the low frequency and make it bigger, make it sound bigger. So let's listen to it with this plugin. Okay, it sounds obviously warmer and fatter. And so let's listen to it in the music, compare it in the music without this plugin.
是才子吗？还是说好全忘了吧？找一个承认失恋的方法，让心情好好的放个假。当你我不小心又想起他，就在记忆里画个圈。
When I bypass this plugin, the kick drum pops out a little bit and make it less cohesional. And after I turn on this plugin, they were blended together.
是才子吗？还是说好全忘了吧？找一个承认失恋的方法，让心情好好的放个假。当你我不小心又想起。
And let's listen to the hi-hat without this plugin. Well, I think the hi-hat is not harsh enough, or it's not sharp enough. So I increase the high frequency to make it sharper. Well, I didn't introduce the compressor of this channel strip too much because this compressor is really, I think it's really weird because there's no gain reduction meter of it. I can only turn it on and set up the range, the depth, and the threshold to make it work. But every time I turn this compressor on, the track sounds better. So that's why I like to use it, but I don't want to introduce it. And the toms track, actually on every track of the tom, I did the same thing to make it harder, to make it solider. Solider, yeah. I think this plugin make every sound more solid or harder. Okay, let's listen to it. You see, it sounds a little bit weak. So after I add this plugin, harder, right?
是才子吗？还是说好全忘了吧？找一个承认失恋的方法，让心情好好的放个假。当你我不小心又想起他，就在记忆。
Okay, and let's move on to the lead vocal. I use this plugin, this MBSI, and this is a simple delay, and also the 4020 to be an add-on. Okay, let's bypass them first and listen to the vocal.
你也曾经爱上过他，曾经也同样无法自拔。你说你学不会假装潇洒。
And we put it in the music.
你也曾经爱上过他，曾经也同样无法自拔。你说你学不会假装潇洒，谁叫我别太早放弃他？把过去全说成一段神话，然后像彼此一样的傻。我们这么在乎他，全被他全部抹杀。越疼他，越相信永远得不到回答。到底他怎么想？应该继续猜测吗？还是说好全忘了吧？找一个承认失恋的方法。
And now let's see the clean guitar. On the guitar track, I try to expand it. I think it's not open enough, so I increase the high, increase the low, and to make it more open. Actually, I did the same on every track, on every instrument track in this song. I just want to expand it, so let's compare them. This is after, before, after. You can barely hear the difference. The difference is subtle. And this keyboard is the brass sound. Without. With. Okay, that's all. That's all I did to mix this song. You see, actually mixing can be really simple. You don't need to use too many plugins to make it sound good. I don't think anybody can say this mix sounds bad, right? So since we can use minimum plugins as possible, why do we take the risk to have more phase issue? Okay, that's all. Let's listen to this song again. Okay, so much for today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I can be more stable in the future. And what do you think about this plugin, or what do you think about my workflow? Please let me know in the comment below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.